very.
Back again.
Well, good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. Welcome back to the Cannon. We're through the rise again for one last time. And the H-men are back in the house. We've got James and, of course, Paul. Yeah, interesting. 2-2. Was it a must-win game anyway, Paul?
I think I got to be honest with you. I thought it is a must-win game because we're quite a few points away from City now. I know we've had injuries, but we're at home. We're at home with a crowd behind us. We're 2-1 up. You know, I just like to see us be a bit more positive. You know, when Harry came on, I don't know how to pronounce his name, Ethan. Great, looks great. But I like Sterling still. I like Sterling to get a shot on the park as well as Jesus. Jesus did well when he came on for us, you know, all but 10 minutes. But I think we made the subs maybe a bit too late. I like to see us look to win the game.
Yeah.
A bit bolder, you know, because I think we needed to win the game more than they did.
Oh, yeah, they have definitely a lot of momentum, yeah.
I expected Liverpool to actually win it 2-1. And when I saw us playing so well, my hopes rose, you know.
Yes.
And as you say, that Liverpool brought on a triple substitution long before we brought on any subs. So they brought on fresh legs, fresh ideas, new formations. And then when Gabriel finally went injured, you had basically a reserve set and a back four and a guy that was out of the U team recently playing at left back. Now, the question you have to ask is, as an Arsenal player, is we all know that the sort of load now, the big running capacity on the body is in the fullbacks. And we've now got a whole series of fullbacks injured. Jurien is injured again. We've got Tierney still coming back. On the other side, we've now got Partey, who's not a right back, not in a million years playing right back. And it all feels like either bad luck or we should have seen it coming and we should relook. I'd be relooking at the way we train our players, because there's constant pressure on the fullbacks. And you know, and people forget, you know, we're doing an expanded Champions League, which means more matches. You know, a lot of teams years ago, probably still today, play their weaker teams in the League Cup. You know, so I just think it's the toll of games. It's the number of games.
Agreed. I mean, Timber, I love Timber. I think he's a brilliant defender. But, you know, he's going to look more like cramp, I'm hoping. With Gabriel, it looks knee. That looks like ligaments all day long. Now, but the problem, they are overloaded. But why have we got a 35-40 squad? I mean, Havertz occasionally did some nice things. But, you know, second half, he seemed to be falling down. Was he being fouled or was he trying to kid the ref? I just want to see us be a bit more like, this is us. We're here. We're going to try and win the game. Now, okay, that's maybe naive, but, you know, you got Sterling on the bench, a very seasoned, experienced player. And, by the way, he'd love to stick it to Liverpool. so you know, you sometimes, I mean, listen, don't get me wrong. I thought Jesus did really well when he came on, and he always holds the ball up, unreal. And you know, the lad Ethan Airy, I tell you what, why is he not starting? You know, he was, I mean, the lad, the young kid coming on, I thought, wow, brilliant. I'm quite critical at the moment, and I've got to be honest, the reason I'm critical, I went to the Bournemouth game. I just feel he's made us really solid, but by making us solid, something's been taken away from our attacking prowess. And I just think we need to still trying to find the right balance. I mean, it was a good result considering when you look at it, and I would have taken a draw probably because of the injuries. But do any of us, hand on heart, think we're going to go and win the league now?
No.
Because that's the question.
No.
The only thing that might help you is sorry, go on.
James.
Sorry, James. Yeah.
Good evening, James.
Evening all. For me, when the season started, the most important thing was to win a trophy. That's the most important thing. We haven't won anything for 5 seasons if we don't win anything this year. I think certain sections of our fans think we live in a sweet shop world where you can pick which trophy you win. It doesn't work like that. I was very pleased to see Arteta put out a really strong side in the League Cup against Bolton. I was at that game and I didn't realise that, that when I went into the stadium that he'd be picking the likes of Rice, Calafiori, Sterling, all to play a game against the 3rd division team. But it was a great win. But as Paul says, it's unlikely we're going to win the league. And now you're faced with 2 generations of fans who've never seen Arsenal win the league. And I find myself thinking to myself, do they imagine what it's like? Like on the PlayStation, the old joke, I've never seen Arsenal win the Champions League, but I saw it on the PlayStation. Yeah. Do they imagine it? Do they try to imagine what it feels like to win a title? I mean, my first ever title as an Arsenal fan was '89. I still remember it, but the first proper one that I was really involved in was '91. Was the almost invincibles where I kicked every single ball. And then you've got 98, 2002, and the last one in 2004. So I've been very, very lucky. But we appear to be more concerned now with the branding of our football club rather than actually winning. Yet another clothing line has been released. It's got nothing to do with Arsenal. A kit has been released that has got nothing to do with traditional colours. Why? What? Because they think that fans are sheep. Money is supposed to be tight. So therefore you pay your mortgage, you pay your bills, and the last thing you do is go out and buy a shirt that has no relation to the football club that you claim to support. But I just think we're at the minute, we appear to be more concerned with the branding than actual winning of football. We appear to be a football team. We appear to be a brand that coincidentally plays football. And as a fan of 35 plus years, that hurts to say that. But I'd like to think in all the times I've been on this platform speaking to you all, I've always been nothing but honest. And you try to educate with the information that you give and also let people know that this game that we love to talk about, you can't crack it. It's, there's always something going on. I've recently just finished a book of David Pleat, the autobiography of David Pleat. And the last chapter where he's talking about how the game has changed, even in a scouting sense. You've got scouts that don't leave their office. They don't go and stand on the line to watch a player play and look at his character when he loses the ball, when he wins the ball, when a player gives the ball away. You've got now you've got statistics. But in the words of Klopp, when he was interviewed as Dortmund manager, when he was asked by the journalist, what does a Jurgen Klopp team need to have? What was his one-worded reply, which summed everything up? Character. And his teams have got it. And I don't think we've got character. I think at the minute we're just trying to proclaim that everything's all right, but we're staring down the barrel of potentially yet another trophyless season. And where do you draw the line? That would be my question.
James, before I go to the enforcer, I'm just going to play devil's advocate here. Surely Arteta has brought the connection now with the fans and with the players. I think we do have character, but surely with the stability that we have, what more do you want apart from Arsenal winning major trophies? Because we've always been saying that the Emirates has been known as the library. Why? Because it was so quiet there. But now he's brought that connection back. We have the Emirates as the 12th man. So surely we have to be a little bit more patient with Mikel Arteta, James.
Well, after 5 seasons, I would say, where do you draw the line? It's not so much a library as an Emirates reading room. It used to be the Highbury Library, and the Emirates is the Emirates reading room. I remember it. I've been so fortunate to attend games from Amsterdam the last 13 seasons, and I'm always respectful and I don't insult people, but I say what I see. But even in saying what I've seen through the years, people have sometimes given me dirty looks, but I've not insulted anybody. I've just told people to be aware of what's coming in at the back post, or to be aware of Moutinho of Monaco picking Arsenal to pieces with amazing passes. But as you say about the connection, have we never had that before then? We've never had that before. Is Mikel the only one to have brought the connection? Never had that under Bertie Mee, did we? Never had that under Graham, never had that under Wenger. Only ever had it with Arteta is what I would say, but I disagree with that. But I'm just trying to maybe exaggerate a little bit. But we're not. We appear as a club to be going through the motions a little bit. And I will sign off on this bit before we go to Des by saying at the top of the club, nothing's changed. We are not Kroenke's priority. We are his cash cow. And until that changes, I don't think you'll see a difference.
Enforcer, good evening to you, fella.
Good evening, guys. Thanks for having me on, Alex. I appreciate it.
No worries.
James, you talk a lot of sense, right? I'm not saying you don't. But end of the day, the game today, we played well, but players were falling like flies. And we've got a non-existent defence now, really. But I just want to go on to the point that James is making. Yeah, 5 years is a long time, but who are you going to replace him with? Who's going to improve us? There's nobody out there who's going to improve us. So it's better the devil you've got than the devil you don't got. You know? Do you know what I mean? And I don't know. I just see if we don't win anything this season, the excuse is going to be injuries. It was all down to injuries. Yeah, and you say about having the connection with other managers. Yes, we did have the connection with other managers, but we didn't have a doldrums like we've had recently with those other managers. I don't think. That's just my personal opinion. You guys may agree, you may not agree. But he came in at one of Arsenal's lowest points, I think. And that's not taking anything away from Unai. He did his best. But he walked in at a hard point.
Yeah.
It would have been hard. It would have been hard for any manager walking in when they did after Wenger. Yeah. Because it was just. We've said about teams that players, why are they even putting an Arsenal shirt on? You know. And I'm going to be fair today. My man of the match, for me, was Thomas Partey. And I never thought. I never thought.
I was surprised. I'm surprised as well. I agree with that. I think he did really well. He's not, for me, I still don't think he's a right back, but he did a job today, didn't he?
Yeah, definitely.
He should be playing that in that position. And I'll just close my little segment here by saying this: he had Núñez in his pocket.
Yeah,
I never thought. And I'm not. And Alex knows, and the Hogan twins know, right? I'm not Partey's biggest fan. Yeah, but today he had a job to do, and he did it, and I say respect for that. And Liverpool's goals, I think, were very lucky, to be honest with you.
Des, fast forward, end of season. We don't win the Premier League. We're knocked out of the Champions League, and we don't win any any trophies at all. What do you do? Do you still stick with Mikel Arteta? What do you do?
I think you do, because I think he's bringing something different to this team. As I agree with James, the problem with Arsenal is what's going on up top. It's not. I don't think, apart from the injuries, I don't think it's actually on the pitch. I don't think it's actually the manager's fault. I think it's. I think it's at the top, mate. It's in the offices, and I better shut up because I can see the Hogan twins chomping at the bit. Like,
I know.
Tim and Tara, are you guys, willing to wait? Still, end of the season, we don't win major honours. And as Des says, who, if not Arteta, who else can do the job?
I don't think we've got much of a choice. You've got to let Arteta play it out now. I do worry that he doesn't. He brought in Nicolas Hovet, I think you pronounce his name, the guy that does the set pieces, and he's fantastic, great. But I always remember Sir Alex Ferguson always revamped his backroom team every 2 or 3 seasons. And I was looking at it today thinking, you need a new man in there just saying, look, what's going wrong? Like we're saying, things that maybe when you're in the heart of it, you can't see the wood for the trees. And there's something funny going on with this constant guys, all the fullbacks are getting injured all the time. We didn't buy a centre forward, but we're making Havertz do both. He's both a centre forward and a right winger and a midfielder. It just feels like it needs somebody to talk to him. For instance, Tim and I were saying when we were winning 2-1, we were saying the only way we could win this is to keep attacking. And the moment Gabriel went off, it just all fell apart, didn't it?
Right.
Yeah, you know, we have too many weak players in that defence to try and defend it out. This wasn't going to happen. So keep attacking. The attack was working well, and I think we definitely brought on the subs too late. But you need somebody talking in Arteta's ear and saying, look, it's time to bring on some subs. You know, don't leave it. Don't keep leaving it. The team were flat. The team was struggling to hold it. But the only time we looked comfortable was when we were attacking, you know, especially after Gabriel went off. But even before that. So I just think if I was to change anything now, I would be whispering into Arteta's ear, you need to think about having... I know Carlos Cuestra, well, you see him on the telly all the time talking to Arteta and whatever. I think he's having a bigger role to play. Great. But let's have somebody else in there just giving Arteta another perspective. That's what it needs, because we seem to be running through the same stuff for the last 5 years. And let's face it, it's not working. One quick one. I was thinking, if we're going to get anywhere near the league this year, we need a run of about 9 or 10 matches winning every single match. You can you can win the league by drawing against all the big clubs, but beating all the smaller clubs. I reckon 9 or 10 match winning run will put us right back up there.
Yeah, very much so. And Terry, I would agree actually with Terry, because that's actually how Man City won the league last year. Man City's performances against Arsenal, I think Liverpool and Villa, they were poor enough really. But Man City won all the other, and they went on a run after Christmas, built up savage momentum. But just one other thing before I go away is that Alex made a great point there. He said, you know, the stadium, there seems to be kind of a synergy between the players and the crowd. And I think the phrase you used, that they were the 12th man. But unfortunately, Alex, I'd have to say, this year, due to our indiscipline, they've often had to be the 11th man, because you know these these ridiculous sending offs, these petulance, and I like Trossard as much, and like I do feel like there's been too many kind of borderline sending offs, people kind of panicking, and I think that is a big problem, and that kind of put you into the situation today where it kind of did become a must-win fixture. Like I felt, you know.
Paul, do you still have faith in Mikel Arteta to eventually get it done?
I watch tactically. I mean, when our plan A doesn't work, the passy, which is nice, and we are stronger side, there's no question he's done. He's transferred a lot of the stuff, a lot of the dead wood out the club, but that's not fair. They were decent professionals, but they weren't Arsenal for Arsenal. Okay, they weren't able to take us on to the next level. He's been given an awful lot of money, and just looking at his lineups, and they're all tight, conservative, strong, like George Graham. I personally, you know, it's a difficult one for me, Alex. I got to be honest with you, because you know, I feel you're Arsenal, you back yourself. Why can't we get a winger that can actually just go like what they've got? Doku, City have got someone with absolutely searing pace. I know we got Martinelli, but he works so hard, and I don't think his dribbling skills are amazing, but he does create, and he's always a pest. But we need something else, and I also think I mean, look, Jesus and Havertz. Havertz has been great, scoring a lot of goals. Jesus holds the ball up. But are they 25 to 30 goals a season men? Right? No. You want to win the league, you want to win the Champions League, and you want to aspire, you have to go and get a 25 to 30 goal scorer, and someone, when the passing's not working, they can just do something crazy. You know, where are those players? Difficult. But hey, Arsenal, London club, exciting, glamorous. If you can't get those players, there's something wrong. The Cronkies can afford to do it. They're charging for third, fourth strips, whatever, similar to going back what we were saying before. What James was saying before. The money in the club is there. How much do you want to win? We've got a good side. They're a good side, and they've got. They try hard and they battle, and you can see that. In the past, we were like, we're too lightweight. We ain't now. But if you want to cross the line, you need hardcore winners, and you need guys that can make that difference, especially now. So the jury's out on Arteta. Jury's out.
Yeah, because I was going to ask you the question, but is he the person to get the team over the line? We've been saying it for the last 3
years. I hope he is. We've been saying it for a long time. Yeah. Giving him a 4-year contract when he's not won anything for a long time. I felt, yeah. But then again, who else? I'm going back to what you were saying. Who else? That's a good point. Who else? And would they be a good fit? It's tough, but you're a manager of Arsenal Football Club. It's the standards you need to adhere to. I think he has to win or get exceptionally close this year. For me, Champions League final, really push it in the league, get to a final of a cup, or be really close. I mean, we'd love to do it, but we don't have an entitled God's given right to win anything. No one has, because we've got so many big clubs around. But he's had time, he's had financial backing. I do believe he should be bringing something to the table. What do anyone think of that? Do they agree?
Well, do you know what I'd say? What's annoying me is this international football. That's how Ødegaard got injured. If we had Ødegaard out there, you've got a different game, So, and then we get this stupid thing of you kick the ball away, therefore you're off and all that stuff. Second booking, all of those are silly, annoying things. You can sort that business out about kicking the ball away, but we all look so naive in those situations, So I would hang on to Arteta for a while, and I can see why Kroenke wants him, because he's keeping us up in the top 1, 2, or 3. We've been second for 2 seasons now. And remember, Arsenal aren't a football club now. They're part of the Kroenke sports empire. We are.
Say they are a part of the empire, aren't they?
Yeah, we're a corporation. We will be a multinational corporation. We'll have Arsenal America, Arsenal Europe. That's the way it's moving, sadly. And when you think of it from Kroenke's point of view, as long as we're up there and challenging, he's happy. And he does that with all his clubs. They occasionally win something, but he's not that interested. As long as they're ticking along, winning occasionally once every 4 or 5 years, and they're keeping up at the top and the gate receipts are coming in, that's his goal. So really, if you compare that to the Hillwoods dynasty, Dennis Hillwood and then Peter Hillwood, their whole thing was we are going to be a great club, and we were a great club with different managers over the years. Back in the 30s under Herbert Chapman, and then Allison came along in the late 40s, and then Bertie Mee came along, and Don Howe, and then George Graham. We have been a very good club. We used to break the British record regularly. We bought Alan Ball after winning the double in 71, British transfer record. We brought Malcolm MacDonald from Newcastle, Des's area. That was a British transfer record. We spent big, and the team did well. We also had always a very good conveyor belt of youth players coming through. But I just feel that at the very head of the whole organisation, really, it's about being in the top 3 or 4, and that suits Kroenke.
Yeah, James. In my memory, I remember when Kevin Keegan abdicated the position as being the manager of England. And I thought, wow, that took a lot of guts. Can you see Mikel Arteta actually just saying, you know what, the job's too big for me and abdicating?
No, because he's far too selfish. If you're talented at any industry, at any sport, at any musical instrument, nobody starts at the top. If you're a good trombone player, you don't start in a philharmonic, do you?
No.
If you're a good computer programmer, you don't start at Google, do you? And the fact remains that he started his professional managerial career at factually the third biggest club in the whole of England. He's from the Basque Country. He's from San Sebastian. Why not start in San Sebastian? But no, it's that I'll start at Arsenal. History will judge us. History will judge us. I know we live in a polarised world where people like to forget everything that happened 5 minutes ago, and demographics are everybody under 30 and the rest not bothered about. But history is really, really important. We've had English football going since 1888 into the current day. It's very, very important to realise what's gone before. There is no better teacher than history. And we used to embrace it. We used to have standards. We used to have awareness. There used to be a great togetherness among the fan base. It used to be so tight. You know, young, old, black, white, doesn't matter. Everybody together. And now, I mean, I was at the pre-season game at home to Bayer Leverkusen. And I took my seat and there were banners everywhere. Arsenal Bangladesh, Arsenal Slovenia, Arsenal Sweden. If I rock up in Ljubljana, they're not going to roll out the red carpet for me. If I rock up in Solna, they're not going to roll out the red carpet for me. And it's as if now the match day going fan is expected to empty their pockets in the club shop and then toddle off to the game and go home. A match day programme's enough for me. I don't need to buy any excess merchandise, but maybe I'm too old at the age of 41. But I just think history will judge us. And the fact remains, if we've not won anything this year, it's 5 years without a trophy. For a big club that we are, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Barcelona, Manchester United, Ajax, they wouldn't go 5 years without a trophy. They wouldn't go 5 years without a trophy. It's not because they're a club built on success. We used to be that way, but now we're becoming so distant from that, where the most important thing is the brand. Well, let me tell you about the brand. The cannon's facing the wrong way. The Latin wording's gone. And we play in every other colour of the rainbow apart from our traditional colours. We don't play in gold with blue trim or yellow and blue trim anymore, do we? We have all the colours of the rainbow. Like, for example, the away kit. We're not... I'm trying to think who plays in black. You know, and different, like an away kit of Bolton or an away kit of Fulham. You know, it used to be yellow and blue, but maybe I'm too old-fashioned. But for all the fury and for all the stats and for all the conformity, I will say this to everybody watching, regardless of age, creed, or experience: nobody can take our memories away from us. Whether you've been to 50 games in your life, 5 games in your life, or whether you've done the lot, nobody can take your memories away from you.
Before I go to, because we're on rotation, James, if not Mikel Arteta, who then? Who would you go for, realistically?
Seeing as Zidane's out of work, he managed the biggest club in the world, surely he could teach us something. Or is that too high polloi to go for? Is it not possible for Arsenal to get a Zidane, is it? And another factor...
He wouldn't come to us. He wouldn't come to us.
Have you spoken to him, Des? Have you spoken to him? Do you know? No, yeah, I know. Okay. With Des's friendliness, it wouldn't surprise me. With Des's friendliness, it wouldn't surprise me if he had spoken to Zinedine, and I'm sure Zinedine would have found it a massive honour. I'm sure he would have said, he's like we all think he's brilliant. And he is. He's excellent. But you don't know until you try. There's a famous Dutch saying which translates to, you already have no, you can get a yes. It is possible. You already have a no. Nee heb je ja,
right.
So
Yeah,
why
I'll
not?
be honest.
Why not try? We have nothing to lose
And
apart from a man that managed the biggest club in the world could teach us something. People forget with the Messi and Ronaldo how much of a brilliant footballer he was. He brought Bordeaux to a European final, which people appear to have forgotten about. Never mind what he did at Juventus, Real Madrid, and he started at Cannes. So I would say that we've got to be ambitious. But as I say, I can't see it happening. But as I say, I would say to Zidane, would you be interested?
James, if the deal is right, it would happen, but it'd have to be some sort of special deal, wouldn't it? So,
but he's a special manager, and we're a special club, so it's a match made in heaven, isn't it?
well, hopefully, but we've got to be, yeah, I know. So, can I make 2 points, Alex? Is that all right?
Yeah, you can make 3 if you want.
Right. Cheers, mate. Number one, I'm going to enforce this, right? So this is me enforcement moment. I was right about Odegaard. Yeah. I'm going to be right about this guy. We should go and get this guy in January. Gyökeres. Go and get him. He is the new Sharvin. I'm telling you. He reminds me of Adrian Sharvin. I'm telling you. Go and get him. But
That's the guy from Sporting, Des.
Sporting.
That's the guy from Sporting.
Yeah. Used to be at Coventry.
Yeah. Good cat. Yeah.
The other point I wanted to make is this. Again, it's agreeing with you, James. And I know me and you have done a lot of shows, right, together. We don't always agree, but I'm going to agree with you tonight. But I will say this, but this is in a layman's man's terms, okay? What the Cronkies don't understand about the Arsenal fans is this. If you win, us fans, the Champions League, the league, yeah, or even an FA Cup, the fans will repay you tenfold. And that's what the Cronkies don't get. So go and, I heard you say this earlier, right? And I know I'm stretching it a little bit. I know you're saying he's had a lot of money to spend, but it's saying to me that we need to spend more. Yeah? Let him spend the money, because then if you do win the Champions League, or you do win the Premier League, or even an FA Cup, as I say, the fans will pay you back tenfold. Doesn't matter whether you sell 1 million shirts, yeah, in the first week of it being launched. Doesn't matter, because end of the day, I can honestly say we've all got opinions on here. We know that, and we all come here and express them. But we all are Arsenal fans, and we all love Arsenal in our own ways. Yeah, the fans will repay you for achievement, and that's what I think the Cronkies are missing out on, and what they don't understand.
Yeah.
And James is totally right about saying that history will, it'll show you up, or however. Sorry, James, I can't remember which way you said it, but
history will judge us. History will judge us.
He's right.
Like it judges every one of the 92. There's 4,500 professional teams worldwide. And from Flamengo in Rio to FC Eindhoven in the Netherlands, who are older than PSV, some might not know, to Arsenal in North London, to Boca Juniors in Buenos Aires. Everyone's got their own problems and their own wishes. But we've got to remember, that we're a massive football club. We're not a small football club.
Yeah.
And
we need
global. It's as simple as that.
Yeah. Just want to say that, just to back up, I see his name here on the screen. Carlo Ancelotti managed Everton, and he's left. He got sacked by Everton, and he won 2 Champions League. And the guy that actually replaced Zidane, do you remember, it was a bit of a disaster, but I'm going to pronounce it wrong now, but Lopetegui, he's now presently managing West Ham. Zidane to Arsenal is I won't say, in my mind, it's well within the spectrum of managers that they should be aiming for. I'm not saying they're going to get him. And actually, I think when he left Real Madrid, there was kind of a thing that he was kind of considered a kind of a cup manager, but like he was still, he himself would accept a new challenge if it was put to him in the right scenario. But look, whether it's Zidane or whether it's Xavi or whatever, whoever it is. But I think Arsenal should not rule out that level of manager. Like, I think.
Yeah.
Tim, just a quick question, Tim, about the ownership. Does Stan Kroenke need to understand what Arsenal is about? Does he really have to?
If I'm factually correct, and James maybe confirm this to me, Stan Kroenke owns the LA Dodgers. He played Showtime Shotani. He's on a £700 million or $700 million contract with the LA Dodgers, and they're going to win the World Series. He has got his silverware for 2024. If Arsenal won something, it would just be a little added extra. So I don't think Arteta is doing all right in that sense. He's going to be left there as long as he doesn't go too far down. Once he's in the top four. Yeah. That's no, James. Am I right in that? I think I'm right in that. I think that he does own that, and they are going to win the World Series. And as Terry has pointed out, it's a corporation. So if one club wins something, I think that's 2024 taken care of. And then you're talking on, unless you could, that's the way he thinks, and that's the mindset of him. And of course, he is American, and that is an American sport. Like, yeah.
Des.
Sorry, go on, Des.
I just want to expand on something that Tim just said, because it's just reminded me. The time when the Kroenkes really spent money on Arsenal, the LA Rams won the Super Bowl. So that backs up what you're saying, Tim.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So if one of his American companies, for want of better words, wins, Arsenal benefits. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like Tel said, it goes hand in hand, doesn't it, Tel?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. He just listen. When you're running a multinational corporation, all you really want is your teams to be in the top 2 or 3 or 4. That's all you really want. It's like selling baked beans. You know, you want your baked beans to be up there as one of the most popular baked beans that people buy. That's all it's doing. I'm sorry to say we Arsenal have now arrived at, but we are a commodity. I know it sounds funny talking about baked beans, but we are a commodity, just like you see on the shelves, you know. And as long in his brain, this is the way money works. In his brain, as long as the money's rolling in and we're in the top 3 or 4, we've got at least 20,000, maybe more, on the season ticket waiting list. You know. So he's sitting pretty. He's got a thing. He's got something that will keep the money rolling in. So he's not going to feel it like us. You know, when I was young, you'd walk by the Arsenal and you'd be bumping into players. I remember bumping into Pat Rice, Frank Stapleton, Liam Brady, bumped into him at traffic lights at Finsbury Park. You know, Stefan Schwartz, more recent. You know, but you would in those days you'd bump into the players. Now you aren't seeing them anywhere. They arrive. I was looking at a video. Was it yesterday? Of Man City arriving at their training ground, and it's all these absolutely amazing cars with these amazing guys from all over the world. Yes, that's fine because Man City are owned by a massive corporation that owns things in Saudi and goodness knows where else. But that's by doing that, you've almost condemned us to maybe once every few years, hopefully getting into a final somewhere along the line. And that suits Kroenke. And that kind of link of the passion. I'd go to away games, which are always a great place to go to be amongst the really passionate fans. And you'd go into the abyss, you know, there'd only be like, I don't know, 10,000 of you and 50,000 of the opposition. But you'd fight for every ball. I don't really see that. These guys are multi-millionaires now, all the way through the club. You know, the young guys are earning phenomenal money. You know, I think I told you a few years ago when my son was 18 and studying for his A-levels, a kid he was in school with was playing for the Arsenal youth, and they played a match, an Arsenal youth match after a home game. And this was, say, Michael's 31. So this was about 13 years ago. And he told me his mate at the time was earning £1,000 a week. £1,000 a week 13 years ago, and my son's at home at 17, 18, sweating to try and get through his A levels. You know, it's a whole different mindset that these players. When I'm sorry to go back about the past, but I often think when Pat Rice and all those were there, and Peter Marinello and so on, you know, yes, they earned maybe double or treble what the average guy was earning that was doing reasonably well in his career. But we're stratospherically away from that now. And that link with the fans, the passion, I don't know. Can I ask a quick question of James? Did you foresee Arne Slot having such a good start with Liverpool?
Not to the start that he's had, but I think the most impressive thing about him is a thing that not many people in Britain will know. He's on his own in England. His family have stayed behind. He recently did an interview with the Dutch press where he said, I'm enjoying living and working abroad. He said, but the most difficult thing is I can't pop round for a cup of coffee with my brother. That I can't pop in and see my parents to say hello. So I think that's the most impressive thing. That, you know, his family, he's not from Amsterdam, Rotterdam, Eindhoven, you know, he's from a place called Kempen, you know, not far from with Pek Zwolle. And that's obviously Pek Zwolle is where he played a lot of his games. And he started out managing Cambuur Leeuwarden. And to go from Cambuur Leeuwarden to Liverpool in 14 years is quite impressive. And be interesting for him if he can win a trophy this season. Because I think if he can win a trophy in his first full season with Liverpool, I think he'll be on the right track. And like with Ten Hag, I mean, an awful result for Manchester United today, but the fact remains Ten Hag has won 2 trophies in 2 seasons, which isn't a bad return in an environment where your boss is a Chelsea fan, but yet you're the Man United manager. In the case of Radcliffe's only brought that club for opportunism. He's not brought it to actually care for the football club. He's a Chelsea fan. But we're talking about the biggest club in England. And for all the rivalry, English football needs a healthy Man United. The same way Spanish football needs a healthy Real Madrid, the same way Dutch football needs a healthy Ajax. It doesn't mean winning everything every year, because that's complete monopoly. But to have a healthy, well-respected club. But I think Slot's doing well. I think they'll be pleased with their point today. And I think that everybody's made great points regarding the Cronkies and that kind of thing. But, you know, you can only vote with your feet. I mean, I've been so fortunate to attend many Arsenal games from Amsterdam, of all places. But as time goes on, I'll just be kind of handpicking my games. I won't be having the same volume of what's gone before. But one thing I would say as well is we mustn't be frightened of change. We mustn't. I think we know he's the only man that can do the job. He's still relatively inexperienced as a manager. So why would we hang on to the coattails of someone who's relatively inexperienced? It's not as if he's a god, is it? It's not as if he's a complete guru. He's still relatively inexperienced. So we mustn't. The tail mustn't wag the dog, so to speak. We've got to be sure. And I think to give someone 5 full seasons of massive investment, for him not to win a trophy off his own back with his own methods in his own way, I think that's a very poor return. And that's certainly not something that I would be willing to advocate. Oh, a contract extension is absolutely fine. No, it's the complete opposite. But then again, all I want is what I want. I don't expect Arsenal to win everything every year. I expect us to be in the hunt for trophies and not have forlorn, barren seasons, especially when the level of investment is absolutely astronomical.
Paul, you're bursting to say something.
Oh. Yeah. Well, last 2 seasons we've blown it, haven't we? Let's be honest. We didn't want to say we've blown it, but we did, right? We should have done a lot better. We're now stronger. Or the team is stronger, albeit more solid. But it's been crying out. Going back to what Des was saying before, go get someone that will get us the goals. Go get someone, a striker and a winger, someone who is unorthodox, someone who is direct and go by people. because, you know, if Martinelli isn't doing it, we need something different. But I like what Martinelli brings to the table because he works like no one else. And the guys didn't do bad today, considering it's like a makeshift defence. It wasn't a bad performance, was it?
Absolutely.
I mean, I like I said, I advocated that I would like to have seen Sterling, someone that can go at people going on, because I felt we needed that. But maybe he's seen it. The young kid that came on done very well, to be fair. Jesus did very well. But do you know what? I just felt we need someone that can make something happen. And funnily enough, I was at work last week, and I got a Brazilian guy that works, and he was saying about Neymar coming back from injury. And he was saying, oh, you know, I heard rumours that Neymar would love to go to Arsenal. And I'm saying, well, if it's the Neymar we knew when he was 20, 28, 27, 28, that it can go by, people got that ability, fine. But if it's the Neymar with the theatrics and everything else, no. But he's 32 now, and I don't know if that's probably what we'd want and all the circus that would come with that. But listen, going back to who we could get as a manager, Arsenal are a huge, huge club now. And I don't think anyone's out of the frame there. Having said that, Arteta is our manager. We've got to get behind him and hope he can deliver. I just want him to be a bit more bolder. You know, at Bournemouth, we got a man sent off and he didn't back the players that were on the pitch. He made a technical substitution, and the one player he took off was the one player that I thought was the most dangerous player that we had. Opinion, and that's what football's about. Not everybody has the same opinion. That's what's a wonderful thing about football. But it wasn't just me, because I was sitting in with the Bournemouth fans, because, you know, I live in Bournemouth, and I had to sort of, and a couple of them were just like smiling at me, and I'm like, and they were like delighted when Sterling went off, delighted. And I got to be honest, you know, Bournemouth ain't a bad side. Right, let's be honest. They're a decent side. They've proved that. But Arsenal need, even with 10 players in the past, you got to back your ability. And I'm not sure Arteta is 100% on the side that he's got at the moment, because he seems to be quite conservative. I don't know if anyone agrees with me there, but that's just my take.
I just feel, Paul, that he's kind of he did want that player that what's his name? Guy Kerry's? I can't pronounce it.
Yokaez, Terry.
Yokaez. I mean, yes, and he's on fire this season, you know. But obviously we didn't go in for him. But I think Arteta, I've got to be honest, you know, he's sitting pretty. His kids are going to school here, so he doesn't really want to move country. He's earning a king's ransom, and he's doing all the right things as far as Stan Kroenke is concerned. So he doesn't want to sort of rock the boat, you know.
Excuse me, one second.
And it's a bit different from what James is saying, where a fella goes to another country, he leaves his family behind, he's devoting himself to his new club. I think we need new blood in our backroom team, and somebody up there alongside Arteta saying simple things like, get your fresh players on now. Don't wait until...
Yes, I agree.
You know, it's blindingly obvious, but he can't see it, and I can understand why he can't, because he's so invested in how the team play and the formations and so on. You just need a cool head, and maybe he needs a more experienced head alongside him, that somebody who's been there, seen it, done it all, and can actually have that kind of overview that he seems to be missing in big games now. All he did was we kept funneling back, and Tim and I were saying, go forward. If you funnel back, it's not going to work. You've got a reserve player at left back who's hardly ever played in the first team. It's not going to work, you know. We
need the ball, Massively agree. I mean, I was speaking to my son, we were watching it, and we were saying, you know, they've got 64% of the ball. What the hell is going on? We're at home. And it's just, I mean, but I get it. I get it. It was a psychological thing, Gabriel being injured. And let's hope it's not too bad. But look, all I can say, I mean, when you think of coming away from that game today, a draw, given the resources are available, the best players out, maybe he's not too bad, but we're still miles away in the league. And go get that centre forward in January. If we can't win a league, go for the Champions League, because, okay, why couldn't we win that? I mean, why? We need a bit of luck. Go get get the players back ready, all the players that we've got, and add a couple of players to that with the right skill set. Yeah. Listen,
Paul,
Paul,
can I just ask you a quick question, Paul? Actually, first is an affirmation. I don't believe Arsenal will win the Premier League this season.
No.
But what do you think is going to be their Achilles heel? Do you think it's going to be injuries? Do you think it's going to be the disciplinary record? Or do you just think it's going to be the lack of quality in the squad depth?
I think it's all three. Because it's all three. That's all three. I think the biggest variable.
Pick one.
Pick one.
In one. A hole in one.
Not having enough squad depth to make the difference.
Yeah.
Just 1 second.
Because you can moan at injuries all you want, but you got 40 man squad or whatever they got these days, and you should have those players should be coming through.
Yeah. Yeah.
1 second, guys. Big Z's ringing me. Big Z's ringing that. Not now, Zinedine. I'm on a show, mate. I'll bring you back later. Hold on. He wants James to negotiate the contract. Right. Okay. See you later, mate. He wants James to negotiate the contract, lads.
It's up to the enforcer to enforce it.
I try. Mine goes with almost half of my life abroad these days. I'd like to think I'd be all right negotiating a contract.
I think you would, mate.
I think I'd be all right. I think I've forgotten a lot of my French, I must say. And I must say, with the points regarding the Champions League, if you haven't won in Bergamo, haven't won in Lens, haven't won in Porto, haven't won in Munich, Lisbon, nor Eindhoven, it's highly unlikely you're going to win it this season. And I think in the Champions League, I think we'll end up in the playoff round. I can't see us finishing in the top 8. And also the strangeness of the Champions League. Yeah, it feels a little bit at the moment like glorified friendlies. It doesn't feel the element of jeopardy. We won't know what's actually happened until the last round of games. And even then, you'll look and you'll see, hang on a minute, Stade Brest are in the last 8. Stade Brest. Oh, hang on a minute. Sturm Graz have creeped through to the playoff rounds. So it feels a little bit at the moment like glorified friendlies. So I think with the Champions League, people forget as well, in a tournament that's only been going for 69 years, there's only been 23 winners. And if you look at the current 36 participants, only 15 of the 36 have ever won it, including the likes of Aston Villa and Red Star Belgrade. So I think maybe it would be nice if a new team could win it, but I don't think it'll be us.
No.
Yes.
Can Carl please leave the chat after that Bruce Lee? Yeah. Now, right. We're always accused, Arsenal. Let's get back up. Arsenal are always being accused of being, Arsenal fans, are always being accused of being arrogant, right? We just want to achieve stuff. That's how I see it. We're not arrogant. But anyway, get off that for a second. I'm going to try and bring back a bit of positivity if possible. So give me a second.
Yeah.
So what you got to remember, it's still early in the season, okay? Man City are going to drop points. Liverpool dropped points against Forest. They dropped points against us today, so they're going to drop points. So anything's still possible, but it is a case of hope. It's like a hope, and the light at the end of the tunnel is way, way, way over there at the moment, But then we have to be realistic. And after what I've seen today, I don't think you asked Paul You gave him the three options, didn't you, Alex? Yeah. For me, it's two of them. It's injuries and team strength. I still don't think. I know we're stronger, but I still don't think we're strong enough.
Yeah.
And that is what's going to hinder us this season.
Yeah, but I still believe that Arteta is not the person. He's not the person, and he's proved it. 5 seasons. He's not the person to get Arsenal over the line.
I think James hit the nail on the head when he said we are his first professional club that he's actually managed, and no big job that any of us might go for in our careers, in our working life. You don't jump into the CEO's job straight away. You work your way up. You prove not only do you prove yourself, but
you learn.
You learn, and the mistakes that you make at lesser levels, they're not tolerated. Of course, they're as bad as what they would be at any level. But when you reach the top level, you remember what's gone before. You think, oh, that sub that I made away at Derby, or that decision that I made to play a formation in San Sebastian. You know, you learn, and then therefore you marginalise your mistakes. But we've taken the decision to appoint Arteta. He's taken the job. Terry made a point about his family life. So we appear to have to respect that. You know, his kids are at school. We're a football club. Never mind, his kids are at school. I couldn't care less. That his family life is ship ahoy. We're a football club. His kids are at school. Let his kid finish year 11, please, before you make a change. Let him finish his GCSEs. We're a football club. We're a football club. But again, tonight's been amazing. Points by all, I must say. We've done a marvellous job all around. So it's been great fun.
But James, you know what you say about the experience. Surely you've got to have somebody in your corner saying to you, you know what, you've made a mistake, or you're about to make a mistake. Yeah. And the thing is with Mikel Arteta, he's so tunnel vision. He's so focused on some in particular that he's not going to listen to anybody else. No. And the thing is, James, you go back maybe 2 or 3 or 4 seasons, we've been saying the same thing. He needs a strong number 2.
Every level you need a strong. At every level.
Of course, Paul.
You know what? The famous thing is strong leaders appoint strong deputies. Yeah. Strong leaders appoint, and he's got that Stuyvenberg there, who doesn't strike me as being a strong deputy. He's a bit of a yes man. And I would put in an older head in there who's been there and done it, but doesn't want to
put your name forward.
Yeah.
Put your name forward.
Listen, I said to Tim when we were scrubbing around at the end of the game to find a left back, I said, I'm on, Tim. I can play left back.
But tell who would be an ideal strong number 2 to be in his ear?
Well, I don't think he would accept a strong number 2. I think that's the big problem.
Sam Allardyce.
Yeah, why not? Why not? Why not? Do you know what? The thing about it is, in a crazy world, they are match made in heaven. Can you imagine?
Then we came back to reality, Paul.
Oh, mate. but
Tell's definitely right. Deputies, strong number 2s, definitely right.
Well, at every level, think about it. I manage kids. I've still got this thing from today, disaster day, but never mind. Let's not talk about that. But but I've got 2 other guys that do it with me. And they've got vast different opinions to me sometimes. But I listen to it and I think, okay, let's try that. Because one person all the time cannot be right all the time. It's not going to happen. I'm a human being, right? I'm going to make mistakes. That happens. But if I've got other people seeing different things that I don't see, that's great. And you don't have to take their opinions on, but you need to listen to them and try and think of a different way of doing things. And I would love it if Arteta was big enough to take someone on board that would do that, that might benefit him, because I'm sure he's a wonderful coach because he was a good player. And I'm sure he's with the Basque region, him and Pep and Areola, they all in the same mould. They're all very, very good coaches. And of course, Unai Emery and all those guys, they're all excellent technical coaches. But sometimes this is British football, and sometimes you do need another voice.
Yeah.
I agree with
James,
Terry there.
what do we have you for, James?
Well, I was going to wrap up in the next few minutes, but it's been an absolute pleasure. It's been great to speak to everybody again. It's been great to laugh as well and have fun, because that's why we're here. We're here to have fun and to educate, and it's been great. And as Des said, with the positivity, you know, it is early in the season. I maintain hope that we can win a trophy. That's what I maintain. And as I say to everyone, you know, young, old, wherever they're from, whatever creed, whatever memories you've got, whether match day memories, watching games, stick to your memories and don't let nobody take your memories away from you. In a world where jargon is now pre-assist, prevented XG, surface level goal contributions. Never mind all that jargon. Chuck it in the bin. But and for any opinions that people have, if you've got an opinion, stick to it. Like my opinion of Mark Albrighton never having been capped by England being a complete disgrace, I maintain that that's absolutely true. The man's now retired, but one of my favourite footballers of the modern era. Absolutely amazing footballer.
Underrated, but I agree with that.
He's brilliant. He's just, and the same with Jamie Vardy. He can still do a job. He can still do a job, and you need that character in the dressing room. You really do. So I hope you all keep him well, and look forward to speaking to you all very soon.
James,
Cheers.
All the best. Take care. Bye-bye.
All right, guys. So just something a little bit off topic, but still football related. So we know the new England manager is Thomas Tuchel. I did have a conversation with James about that, and he's not kind of happy. I didn't want to kind of push him on that, but what we thinking? How are we feeling about having Thomas Tuchel as the England manager?
Well, listen, we have a German royal family, so a German manager. Ja, wohl, mein Herr.
Well, the irony in a German manager winning England the World Cup, that'd be cool.
Great?
I mean, listen, if he delivers, he delivers. I mean, listen, for me, I'm Scotland anyway, but my kids support England. So, you know, what a hard, because listen, football's mental. You've got millions of people picking that team for you. Oh, I could do this. I would put him there. I put him there. And it's hard. People knock Southgate, and maybe rightly so or wrongly so, but, you know, he did get them to finals. They weren't exactly wonderful to watch, but he got them there. And Tuchel might be able to get them over a line. So if they can do it, they can do it. I mean, the one thing that annoys me about the modern football and modern stuff nowadays is everyone says the modern coaches are amazing and all that. Britain still has wonderfully great, talented football players. And I bet your bottom dollar they still have wonderfully talented coaches. Just Spain make it easier to get people into coaching. The FA is a bit more expensive, etc., and we have this facade that foreign managers are necessarily better than British managers. Everyone's different, and they've all got a lot to offer. But I sometimes think we sort of dismiss British managers too easily.
But surely, Paul, you know, looking at the pool of managers currently on offer, I mean, would Eddie Howe really?
Eddie Howe, definitely Eddie Howe would be worth a shout. I mean, in Newcastle's difficult because they're under financial fair play. They can't get the guys in. He did sign Tamale, which is a bit of a problem for him because he was out for a year because of the gambling situation. So that was a huge thing on the wages front. So he couldn't invest elsewhere. I don't know. I just think, you know, listen, Tuchel is a proven manager. And from the FA's point of view, it was a no-brainer because of financial. He didn't have any financial compensation to pay, and they could get him in straight away. So it was a no-brainer. I get it. And do you know what? Sensible, clever, astute by the FA rather than throwing money at things. Because Eddie would be, Newcastle would want compensation, etc., etc. But Tuchel's up against it. He needs to start the ground running, doesn't he? Because I tell you what, a lot of people that were angry at getting the job will be all over him.
Yeah.
Lads, I'm going to shoot off now, but it's lovely to see you all. And the good news is we're still in October, right? And you know, it's not lost yet. It's nearly. We're only hanging on by a thread, but a 9 or 10 winning run, and we should be right back
Mate,
in there.
FA Cup, League Cup, Champions League, no problem.
Absolutely.
Lads, it was great catching up with you. Great.
All right,
thanks,
guys.
lads.
Yeah.
Take
it. I think we're going to wrap up as well anyway. But there's final thoughts. Thomas Tuchel as the England manager, no problem.
You always let me have a blunt moment.
I'm sorry.
And I'm really grateful. I'm Scottish, and I don't care. That's what I care.
Not even to get beat. You don't care. Because I'll tell you, the grief I get when Scotland get done, I'll tell you. So it's nice. And that's at home. That's in my own house.
Right. That's what I care about. Don't care about England, do. Who?
All right, okay. Tim, very quickly, thoughts?
Oh yeah, look, Alex.
I know.
He's a cup-winning manager. He's a proven cup-winning manager. He could win it, and they have a reasonably good team. And I really think that, to be honest, I'd say that's the reason he was gone. I'd say they feel that they just need someone out to get him over the edge. That they have the players, and maybe Southgate probably wasn't the man to get the. But he is a proven man. So he won that Champions League with a squad he inherited that was in tatters. He put a bit of formation to him. Next thing he went the whole way and won it. So it's very admirable what he did. Now he's moody, of course, and he's a bit confrontational. But other than that, I'd say he's the ideal man for the job, really, in terms of winning a cup. But it's a short. I think he only has it for 18 months. Like he only has it until after the World Cup. So yeah, I would fancy him actually to win it, to be honest. But in saying that, international football is funny.
All right. Well, to the H-men, the Enforcer, and Paul, we're finished. We're finished on this last show ever on the Canon rides again. Paul, thank you very much for your time. It's been an hour and 10 minutes. Say hello to your father from us, please.
Will do. I'll give him a ring in a minute.
The Enforcer, thank you. Looking a little bit menacing there.
Always, mate. Always. Ask the missus. Paul, I think it's the first time I've been on with you, mate. Absolutely brilliant. And
you, mate.
My relatives on the top of the screen, the twins there. Great. always love talking to you guys. Always give you. Paul, we'll have to get in touch another way, mate, and I'll chat with you anytime. Alex, thanks very much. You are one of the best, mate. And if you ever decide to start this up again, I'm always here, fella.
Fantastic. LTL, the original Godfather. I'll leave the last words to you, fella.
Well, I was with you on the very first Cannon Fodder by the Tony Adams statue, and it's come a long way. We've all made great friendships. Yeah. We've all given ourselves a chance to prepare our minds when we're watching the game to talk about it on a good, lively forum. And despite being a bit disappointing today, we are still upbeat. It's all to play for. And I know this feels like the end of an era, but maybe, I know Cannon Fodder rides again. Well, maybe it could go one more time round the block, and maybe we might have some silverware.
That's pushing it. What do you think, Paul?
Well, listen, why not? Listen, still in a chance. We could win something. I mean, listen, getting to a League Cup final, an FA Cup final, it'd be something. And Champions League, quarterfinals, semi-finals. If we get to the semis, we're going again, then go again, then go again, then go again, and keep getting better, get better players. Get that centre forward. Why not? Why not aim for the stars? At least aim for it.
Yeah. So I'm going to put this out there now. All right. So Paul, if we do get to a final, we'll be back here again.
Come on! You know it makes sense. You know it makes sense.
I know it's never going to happen.
Well, if that's happening, there's going to be plenty of alcohol and drinks here and there.
And
Right,
you
guys,
can still get internet in Dubai, can't you? When you're over in Dubai or wherever you are. Yeah.
All right, guys, look, enjoy the rest of your evening on Sunday evening over here. And the Cannon rides again. There might be one last show, according to Paul. We'll wait and see. Anyway,
Take care.
good evening, guys. Take care. Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.